Did specific legal cases influence incarceration policy? Imagine a courtroom where decisions shape the lives of millions. Over the years, certain legal cases have played a big role in changing how the United States handles crime and punishment. These cases didn't just settle legal disputes, they set rules that affected the size and nature of prisons across the country. This is especially true for Black Americans, who have been impacted more than most by these legal shifts. One of the earliest cases was Terry v. Ohio in 1968. The Supreme Court decided that police could stop and search people based on reasonable suspicion, not proof of wrongdoing. This ruling made it easier for police to stop Black men and women on the street, often leading to arrests. It helped create a cycle where more Black Americans faced detention, fueling the rise of mass incarceration. In 1981, Rhodes v. Chapman addressed prison overcrowding. The court said that putting two prisoners in the same small cell did not violate the Eighth Amendment, which bans cruel and unusual punishment. This decision allowed states to keep more prisoners in cramped conditions without fixing the overcrowding problem. As a result, more people, many of them Black, ended up in prisons with poor conditions, and the prison population grew. Then, in 1987, United States v. Salerno changed the rules for pretrial detention. The court ruled that suspects could be held without bail if they were considered dangerous. This meant many Black Americans who could not afford bail stayed in jail before their trials, increasing the overall number of incarcerated people. In 1991, Harmelin v. Michigan upheld very long sentences, including life without parole, even for nonviolent crimes. The court's narrow view of the Eighth Amendment made it easier for states to give severe sentences, often to Black defendants. This contributed to the explosion of the prison population and the harshness of sentencing laws. Another case, McCleskey v. Kemp in 1987, looked at racial bias in the death penalty. The court decided that statistical evidence of racial disparities was not enough to prove discrimination. This decision allowed racial bias to continue in capital punishment and other sentencing practices, keeping racial inequalities alive in the justice system. Finally, Bordenkircher v. Hayes in 1978 supported plea bargaining tactics that pressured defendants to plead guilty, often Black and poor. This practice led to more convictions and higher incarceration rates, as many accepted plea deals to avoid harsher sentences. All these cases collectively made it easier for authorities to arrest, detain, and sentence Black Americans harshly. They weakened protections for defendants and allowed policies that led to the rise of mass incarceration. Civil rights groups and activists have fought back, challenging these rulings and pushing for reforms like bail changes, sentencing limits, and ending racial profiling. Understanding these legal decisions helps us see how laws shape the prison system and impact Black communities today.